fight on home soil for the spoils. It's time for more sizzling action from badminton's premier competition. This is the BWF Superseries. Welcome to our BWF Highlights show for 2011, which rejoins the Super Series circuit at the second half of the regular season, where the tournaments and their associated ranking points come thick and fast, with an average of 2 tournaments every month up until December and the Grand Finals. This week we check in with the 7th event of the year, the China Super Series, one of the hardest tournaments of the calendar, as it's prized by all the Chinese players and fans, which means the competition is fierce and the atmosphere around the city of Changzhou and around the Shixian gymnasium is imposing and electric. As with all these Super Series events, there are 2 things at stake for all the players involved. Firstly, a share of the total prize purse, which in this case is $200,000, and secondly, and more importantly for some, world ranking points, which is the only commodity that can get you into the end of season Grand Finals, making them the highest priority for the players. All the star names are on hand for the showdown in Changzhou, with the exception of possibly the most important name, Malaysia's world number 1 Li Chongwei, who opted to skip this tournament to better prepare for the upcoming Japan Super Series. We will, as always, be giving you all the best action from the 5 disciplines of the Badminton World Federation: men's and women's singles, mixed and women's doubles, and of course, the men's doubles. Which saw a nice variety of nationalities make the quarters, with just 2 Chinese pairs, Chaiyun and Haifeng and Wei Hong Yishan, flying the home flag. The others were Adcock and Ellis from Great Britain, the Koreans of Jae Yun-sung, Yong-dae and Hyun-ko Yeon-seong, Malaysia and Indonesia represented by Kian-Kiat Boon-hyung and Ahsan Septano, with the final pair from Denmark, Boa and Morgensen. They made it through to the semis along with both the Korean pairs and Chaiyun Haifeng, the only Chinese pair in the last 4. As it turned out, the semi of Boa Morgensen and Jae-sung Yong-dae was stretched right to a rubber set, with the Koreans finally going through 21-18, 16-21, 21-7. But it was this semi between Chaiyun Haifeng and Hyun-ko Seong-yu that the home fans were watching, and they saw a clean dismissal in straight games by the Chinese, with a 26-24 first set. In the second, the Chinese pair settled their game and made the final 21-8.
So the Korean number 3 seeds, Jung Jae-sung and Lee Yong-dae, on our side of the court against the defending champions in their 5th China Masters final. Players other than Chinese have won. In fact, non-Chinese players have taken the title on 2 occasions. Eriksson and Lundgaard from Denmark won this men's doubles title in 2006. Marcus Guido and Hendra Setiawan won in 2008. Apart from that, it's been Chinese players all the way. Now, this has been a very good start to the final by the Koreans. Dropped the opening game before coming through in 3 to win in an hour and 7 minutes. Oh my goodness, how did he get that back? Oh, clever play from Kai-yun. And then late yesterday evening, the Koreans needed an hour and 4 minutes to overcome the number 2 seeds, Mathias Bo and Carsten Mogensen of Denmark. Good defence. Very calm from Kai-yun. Not bad defence there either. What a good rally. Yeah, crowd loving it. Oh, I don't believe it. Brilliant. Well saved. But they won't do it because the lift is long. They're going to have to up their tempo here, up their game. And if that's an indication, well, they're going to struggle to do so. Yeah, good rally. 10-point advantage now to the Koreans. Quite frankly, I think it's virtually impossible for the Chinese to come back from this sort of deficit. And it brings up 10 match point opportunities. Their 7th final of the year, and they look to be on the verge of taking their 4th title. And indeed they have. No clean sweep for China at the China Masters. Foiled at the last hurdle, the men's doubles, because victory going to the number 3 seeds Jung Jae-sung and Li-Yong. 21-17, 21-10 in the second. It really was a very commanding performance. Of course, Jung Jae-sung and Li-Yong having won the Korean Super Series event, the first ever Premier Super Series, and also the German and Thailand Grand Prix Gold events. So this their 2nd Super Series title of the year.
有请常州市人大常委会副主任赵为冠军运动员颁发奖品2胜天王椅。
And let's welcome Mr. Hong Yu, General Manager of Indoor Sports Business Unit of Li-Ning Company Limited, to present the prize money and award prize, the OSIM BWF to the champion.
Well, very satisfied Jung Jae-sung and Li-Yong.
So a momentous achievement for South Korea's Jung Jae-sung and Li-Yong, who were looking to bounce back and avenge their World Championship defeat just a couple of months ago, and in the event prevented a clean sweep by China at the China Masters. It was the Koreans' 2nd BWF World Super Series title of the year. They had also won their home event, but that was way back in January, so this win just at the turning point of the season would have been greatly appreciated by the pair as they look to make a run in the second half of the season. Their win also prevented Chaiyun Fu-Haifeng from clinching their 3rd consecutive Super Series crown after they conquered all in June, winning both the Singapore and Indonesian Opens. And it also meant that none of the players who won world crowns in London 2 months ago at the World Championships were able to repeat the feat as champions in China. Still to come on our BWF Highlight show, Wang Shixian had a point to prove in the women's singles, while the mixed doubles produced a new sensation. That's all coming up, but right now it's time for the women's doubles event, which treated the world to the rise of a new pairing, who made sure that the China Open will be remembered for a run of results that defied the odds. It was a fairy tale story, and it heralded a new Chinese pairing to possibly continue the dominance of the country in this discipline, while giving the watching fans something to be really proud of. A strong presence from China is always in the women's draw, and this time 5 of the 8 quarterfinal spots were filled by home players, with just the Japanese duo of Fuji and Kakiwa, the Korean pairing of Jung Kim, and Chinese Taipei's Cheng and Chen, with the chance of installing a non-Chinese champion. That dream quickly faded for all but Fuji and Kakiwa, who found themselves in the last 4 with Chan Xing, Yunlei Zhao, Wang Xiaolin, Yang Yu, and Jia Huan, Jinhua, Tang. With one semi-final, an all-Chinese affair won by Wang Xiaoli and Yang Yu, the cameras followed the fortunes of giant killers Huan Xia, Tang Jinhua, facing the Japanese pair of Fuji Kakiwa. Huan Xia and Jinhua were the talking point all week, ousting second seeds Maeda Swetsana, 8 seeds Chengshu Panpan, and India's Gutta Ponappa. But they didn't stop there, as they exerted total control against the Japanese pair, carrying their run into the final 21-10, 21-18.
So the world champions, the world number ones, and the defending champions, Wang Xiaoli and Yu Yang, the far side of the court in the yellow shirts, up against the former world junior champions Huan and Tang Jinhua. Well, I was telling you that the youngsters have had a great tournament, because in the first round they beat Jwala Gutta and Ashwini Bonappa of India in 3 games. They of course were the bronze medalists from the World Championships last month, and then in the second round beat the other bronze medalists from last month's World Championships, Maeda and Suetsuna. The quarterfinal disposed of teammates Chengshu and Panpan, the number 8 seeds, and yesterday in the semi-final disposed of the number 3 seeds, the All England finalists this year, Mizuki Fuji and Roika Kakiwa. In the semi-final yesterday against that Japanese pair, current world number 3s, won in 2 straight games. Apart from that, they've gone the full distance, 3 games in their first 3 matches. There's little signs of frustration. Brilliant defence, wonderful. Huan guiding the shuttle across court into the open space for the outright winner. And now the youngsters have game point. They take it. Extraordinary. Well, they've been showing great form all week. They've already disposed of both the bronze medalists from the recent World Championships. They've already disposed of the number 2 and 3 seeds. And here they are, a game up against the current world champions and number 1 seeds. Extraordinary. 21-19. A little over 23 minutes. Well, I think they're calling it a day. Yeah, there we go. Yu Yang has shaken hands with opponents. The crowds are not pleased at all. I have to say that is extremely disappointing.
World champions Wang Xiaoli and Yu Yang, who were hoping to retain the title they won a year ago, were pushed all the way by the world junior champions and teammates Huan and Tang Jinhua. After a tight first game in which the four traded points, it was the younger pair who emerged with the advantage, having won it 21-19. This was partly due to a foot injury suffered by Wang, who immediately after the match was sent to hospital. The victory was the two 19-year-olds' first BWF World Superseries crown, and they did it in only their third attempt. Huan and Tang Jinhua's victory meant it was China's sixth women's doubles win in 7 Super Series tournaments this year, with Japanese glamour girls Miyuki Maeda, Satoko Suetsana preventing a clean sweep when they won the India Open Super Series in May, an event which the Chinese players skipped. Don't go anywhere, still to come on this BWF Highlights show. One Chinese pair in the mixed doubles needed the China Open to put their year back on track. Could Chen and Jiaming Tao rise again? Find out when we come back. You're back on our BWF Highlights show for 2011, and we're checking in with the mixed doubles draw. Now, just before the Super Series mid-season break, which made way for the World Championships, the pair to beat were the Indonesians of Tantowi Ahmad and Liliana Natsir, who won consecutive events in India and Singapore. But after just a bronze in London, they needed to refine their momentum in China, but the headlines they were looking for were robbed by another pair. The big story in the mixed doubles camp surrounded the run of the Indian pairing of Diju and Gutta, who ousted the highly rated Chinese pair of Chen and Jiaming Tao in the first round. And they would go even further, booking a last 4 berth after another crucial win over Blair and White from Great Britain. Just one Chinese pair in the semis, Chen and Ma Chin, with the other 2 spots filled by the Koreans Seong-yu Na-jung and the Danes of Nielsen and Pedersen. The semi-finals saw the end of the Jwala Diju run by the Koreans Seong-yu Na-jung, and it also saw the shock end for the third-seeded Danish pair Joachim Nielsen and Christina Fischer, who were edged 21-15, 22-20 by Zhu Chen and Ma Jin, making it a clean sweep of Chinese finalists from Saturday's play. The All England champions, bolstered by the rousing home support, gave the Danes no chance, even though they gave it their all and fought for every point.
Well, both the men on court feeling the pressure, both making errors on serve, one with a flick serve, one with a serve out wide. Would you believe it? Second match point opportunity for the Chinese. That's a good serve, very good serve, and it forces the error on the return. 22-20, the second game, and the All England champions Zhu Chen and Ma Jin of China have disposed of the number 3 seeds from Denmark, Joachim Fischer Nielsen and Christina Pedersen. 44 minutes of play. China still have the opportunity to keep their remarkable run of always having won the mixed doubles at the China Masters. So the seeded combination, the number 5 seeds, Chen and Ma Jin in the all-black kit. Unseeded pair of Young and Jung Na, nearest to us. And mixed doubles, have to say, has caused more upsets in this discipline than any other here at these China Masters. In the bottom half of the draw, 3 of the 4 seeds lost in the first round. Robert Matusiak and Nadia Ziba, the number 7 seeds, they lost out to Malaysian pair of Chan Peng Soon and Go Liu Ying. Nathan Robertson and Jenny Ward, the number 6 seeds, lost out to the Korean pair of Jung and Huan. And the defending champions, Tao Jiaming and Tian Qing, the number 2 seeds, lost out in the first round to Diju Valiavitil and Jualagutta from India. And I can tell you by quarter-final stage, none of the seeds in the bottom half of the draw had survived. All unseeded combination. But this is the unseeded pair that's battled their way through to the final, beating that Indian pair that I've just mentioned of Diju and Gutta late last night in the semi-final. Match going the full distance, 21-19. Match finishing approximately midnight. And therefore it's very tough on these Koreans to be second on court today. Today's lineup, the finals. Just wide, good rally though. Really into their stride now, the All England champions. Oh, that's brilliant. Finds the line. And it's actually a run of 7 straight points to go to the mid-game interval. That was perfect. Plumb on the line, skimmed over the net, played with power, played with precision. And it's no wonder that they're singing in the aisles here in Changzhou. Pace. The ideal formation as far as mixed doubles is concerned. The man smashing from the back, Zhu Chen, there he is, sits in the right place to get his partner involved at the net. Takes the shuttle early, plays the block, and it's an outright winner. 10 straight points now for the Chinese pair. Passed in again, margin. Now have 9 game points. Chen doesn't like the call. It was called good. He thinks it was well long of that back line. Oh, I don't think it's worth making a fuss, not when you've got so many game points ahead of you. This time, 21-13. That's clever play. Drop shot and move forward. And again. Oh! Would you believe it? The Koreans have worked so hard for that rally. Finally got the half-court lift. But that's just too good. Jin has been outstanding in this final. Well, it's called long. And this time they do convert. 21-13, 21-16. And the title goes to number 5 seed Shixian and Jin of China. But this Korean pair, I hope we see a lot more of them. Young and Jung Na.
Ma Jin started the year with Han Bin and they won in Malaysia before being paired with different partners. Since then, she's been playing with Chen and the All-England champions equaled compatriots and reigning world champions Zhang Yunlei's record of winning 2 BWF World Superseries tournaments by totally outplaying South Korea's Yong and Jung Na 21-13, 21-16. It was a win that was well received by the pair, who, fresh from the disappointment of only picking up bronze from the World Championships in London in July, had just a winner's medal from the Double-Star Sudirman Cup and the runners-up badge from the Badminton Asia Championships to add to their All-England title. Zhang Na and Zhao Yunlei had won in South Korea and Indonesia, while the middle of the season was almost totally dominated by Indonesia's Tantowi Ahmad and Liliana Natsir, who prevailed through the month of June with their 2 Super Series crowns from India and Singapore. On the way, the 3 Wangs from China have fought fiercely all year in the women's singles, and all 3 wanted to fight even harder in front of their home fans. Find out who is left standing on final Sunday when we return. You're back on our BWF Highlights show. It's time to check in with the women's singles tournament, which on home ground was expected to be ruled by Chinese players as they occupy the top 4 places in the world rankings, and 3 of them had already won 5 of the 6 events this year. For the 3 Wangs, Shixian and Yihan winning 2 each, with Wang Xin winning the Singapore Open, but they have been pushed by some notable others who had something to say in China as well. As we've seen throughout the season so far, the quarterfinals lineup in the women's singles boasted the very best. All 3 Wangs, Shixian, Xin and Yihan were present, along with yet another quarterfinal spot for the Europeans of Tina Born and Julianne Schenk. India's best Saina Nehwal and China's Lu Xin and Zhang Yanzhao were the other 3, but from that list it was an all-Chinese last 4, with the 3 Wangs joined this time by Zhang Yanzhao. It was another titanic clash between 2 of the 3 Wangs at the semi-final stage. This time it was the 2 former world number 1s, Wang Shixian and Wang Xin. In recent months, Wang Xin has shown the more consistent form, but not this time, as she was destroyed by Shixian, who emphatically cruised into the final 21-12, 21-18. There she would face countrywoman Zhang Yanzhao, who disposed of the 3rd Wang, Yihan, in straight games.
Wang Shixian in a very first round against Tai Si Ying of Taipei went 30-29 in the deciding game. An hour and 11 minutes. She came from 17-20 down in that decider, saved 10 match points before coming through to take victory. As I say, 30-29. And since then she's been getting better and better. Since then, all of her matches in straight games, including that semi-final against the defending champion, last year's winner, Wang Xin. So this is the 7th meeting between these 2 players. Yang Yanziao. Good net shot. Yeah. Well, a fault had been called on Jiang Yanjiao for hitting the net. Yes, she did. Good spot by the umpire. And won't see it from that. There's the follow through there. She hit the net, and that is indeed a fault. It was a good call by the umpire. Oh, I don't believe it. That is extraordinary. Oh, she only needed the 1. Yeah, she was seeded 2 this year, but lost in the earlier stages. Last 16 to Julianne Schenk, who went on to take bronze. Oh no, we're not going to have another pull-out, are we? Oh dear, oh dear. What is happening? Tournament referee has been called for. Yeah, well, I can see that her left knee is heavily strapped. Tournament referee has been called. Well, the medic, I think, is run on. Lost for words.
请颁奖嘉宾退场。
Distinguished guests, please leave the hall.
请获奖运动员。
So, Wang Shixian grabs her third Super Series title this year, following wins at the Malaysia Open Super Series and the All England Open Super Series Premier. And it too means China have now won 6 of the 7 singles crowns available. Wang Yihan, who came out on top at the Korea Open Super Series Premier and Indonesia Open Super Series Premier, and Wang Xin, the champion of the Singapore Open Super Series, were the other Chinese girls to claim top spots. Thailand's Porntip Burana Prasetsuk was the sole non-Chinese champion after her win in India in April, though it must be noted that there were a lot of Chinese players who skipped that event due to scheduling conflicts. Wang Shixian, who has since dropped to number 2 in the world rankings, has been in dominating form of late. Zhang Yanzhao worked hard, but her efforts in ousting the world number 1 the previous day caught up with her, and she eventually had to concede the match after re-injuring her knee. She retired after losing the first game 21-16 and trailing 8-5 in the second. Just around the corner on our BWF Highlights show, no Lee Chong-wei in the men's singles draw to hinder the progress of a certain Lin Dan. He was expected in the final, but who would it be against? All the details in just a bit. This is the BWF Highlights show for 2011 at the China Super Series, with the men's singles draw that didn't go according to the best laid plans of some big name players. No Lee Chong-wei, as we said earlier, so who would face Lin Dan in the final on Sunday? As it turned out, somebody else stole the headlines and the crown, though early in the week, everything looked like it was going on course. All the usual suspects surfaced at the quarterfinal stage, though the draw had a distinctly different look to it with no Lee Chong-wei amongst the names. Chen, Jin and Lin Dan had easy victories to make the semis, where they would face each other, with Super Dan's win especially sweet as it was over Sho Sasaki, who beat him earlier this year. Chen Long and Peter Gade would contest the other semi-final. The big surprise here was Lin Dan's defeat to Chen Jin, who bested Super Dan, making the final with a 25-23, 21-15 win. He would face Chen Long, who dominated former world number 1 Peter Gade, who again was pipped at a Super Series event in 2011. There was nothing he could do against the pinpoint precision and power of Chen Long, who proved that he may be the next big thing to come out of China, taking it 21-18, 21-14.
Gone wide, and this time Chen Long of China converts. 2 straight games over Peter Gader, the veteran from Denmark. So that guarantees an all-Chinese men's singles final, because the other semi-final, 2 Chinese players contesting in the top half of the draw. Championships in Wembley, the venue for the Olympic Games next year. Lost in the very first round to Kevin Corden of Guatemala. Held 3 match points in the deciding game, but failed to convert. Probably one of the biggest upsets in badminton in many a year. Well, has to go down as a missed opportunity, but he's much more willing than his opponent to actually dictate the pace. And the reward for that, and his aggressive play, is 4 game points. Yeah, first time of asking. 21-16. Strain on knees and back. 188, he is tall, that's 6'2". Yeah, and that's his problem when you are so tall. In that rally, he was asked to, there's taking one very low, and then another one, and then made to twist. Perfect net shot, but my goodness me, what wonderful defence early on in that rally from Chen. There was a couple of shots there that I didn't think he could possibly get back, but he did indeed. Didn't just get them back, he got them back with interest. No mistake this time from Chen. So now there's just 1 point in it. Oh, it's just wide. Goodness me. Only wide by a whisker. Short. Oh, good defence. Yeah, done it again. A great smash from the back of the courts from Chen Long, creating the angle. And as soon as you've got a good angle, here he goes, up in the air, fantastic angle, out wide, knows the reply, has to be back to the net. And he's so fast to come forward and play the kill. Oh, error on the return of serve from Chen. And on a run of 3 straight points, the number 3 seed Chen Long on the verge of victory. It's match point. Oh, take that. 20 all, and of course that means we need extra points until there's a clear 2-point winning margin. Unless, of course, we got to 29 all, and then it's sudden death, and we had one of those in the first round of the women's singles earlier on in the week. That's clever. No big jump this time on the jump smash, just perfect placement. Calm and collected. Second match point opportunity. Goodness. Fabulous. Beaten finalist last year, Chen Long. This year in 2011 goes one better. He takes the title. His second ever Super Series title to go with the China Open that he won last year. His first ever China Masters title here in Changzhou, and he did it in style. Chen Long, the number 3 seed, has won the title without dropping a game. All of his matches, all 5 matches in 2 straight games. What a super rally to close it out. The tight spinning neck shot hit the top of the tape, and there's the delight of the new champion.
And this is why Chen Long is being touted as having the potential to be the next big single sensation from China with his comfortable straight games victory over Chen Jin. The reigning China Open champion's deft touches and leaping smashes proved too much for the man who defeated world champion Lin Dan. It was a win that again wasn't expected by the journalists and media on hand, as Chen Long was on a 27-8 win-loss stat from 35 played this year and had only the Thailand Open Grand Prix gold title to his name in 2011. But it seems that China Open is his territory, with consecutive wins in 2010 and 2011. After starting his week against relatively easy opponents in the form of Mark Zwiebler from Germany and Swan Yi from Chinese Taipei, Chen silenced the critics with his subsequent wins over Korea's 8th-ranked Hyun-Il Lee, number 2 Peter Gade, and then the world number 3 Chen Jin. Many expected it to happen, and China doesn't like to disappoint. Of the 5 categories of competition, almost a clean sweep by Chinese players, but maybe not the ones who were touted to win. Chen Long came through in the men's singles. Of the 3 Wangs, Shixian took top honors in the women's singles, while Ma Jin and Zhu Chen triumphed in the mixed doubles, with the women's doubles won by world junior champion Swan Jia, Tang Jinhua. The only non-Chinese winners, South Korea's Jung Jae-sung and Lee Yong-dae in the men's doubles. The 2011 BWF Super Series season is comprised of 13 events, with the last of those events being the grand finale for only the best players who have topped the rankings by amassing as many points as they can in the regular calendar. The China Open was the 7th Super Series of the year and marks the second half of the season, where the tournaments come in thick and fast. Immediately after the China event, the players head straight for the airport to make the short hop to Japan before the long haul back to Europe for the French and Danish Super Series. Hong Kong is next after that, and then a return to China for event number 12 to close out the regular season. The Super Series Masters Final will end the year and open up the 2012 season, so still plenty of badminton to be played, and we will be there every step of the way. That's all for now, but remember to catch all the best action and more on your BWF Highlights Show 2011. For now, goodbye.